I'm Dr. Leon Stutzman, aka Doc, with another one of these little videos designed to help you to get through these strange days in which we find ourselves, and these yet remain strange days. Indeed, I'm talking this week about the power of imagination. Imagine that. Why? Because imagination is one of the greatest gifts that God gave to humanity. There is a problem biblically with imagination, and that is when the translators translated various words, if it had a negative connotation, they translated it imagination or imaginations. If it had a positive connotation, they translated it thoughts or some other word pertaining to thoughts. And so you have this dichotomy here in imagination. Imagination is bad, but thoughts are really good. No, imaginations and thoughts are the same thing. Imagination needs to be harnessed. Unharnessed imagination has caused all kinds of havoc in the world. But if you learn how to harness your imagination, that's what we're going to be talking about this week. And it's what I shared last Sunday at Aspire Church. And you can catch the message in its entirety on Facebook or on the live stream at aspirechurch.tv. I've got some things to share with you about imagination that will unlock your imagination and help you to experience God's best in your life. How does imagination help you to experience God's best in your life? We'll go back to the very beginning. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Where did God create the heavens and the earth from? From his imagination. You don't believe it? Second verse. And the Spirit of God moved on the face of the deep. What was the deep? The deep with the imaginations of God. The Spirit of God hovered over his imaginations, and out of his imaginations came a word, and out of that word came creation. Out of your imaginations come a word, and out of your words come creation. You don't believe imagination is important? In the second Genesis story, God created Adam and said, I'm giving you dominion, I'm giving you authority. But for him to exercise that dominion and authority, he had to exercise his imagination. So God brought all the animals in the story, brought all the animals before Adam and asked Adam, what are you going to name them? And Adam had to draw on his imagination in order to name all the animals that God had created. Imagination is powerful. You don't believe imagination is powerful? Still in the creation stories, the serpent said to Eve, "Hast God said," and piqued her imagination in a negative way, which is why I said at the very beginning, you have to harness your imagination. And if you harness your imagination becomes a powerful tool that will liberate your faith and cause you to receive from God. Let me tell you a little story. For years and years and years, when we lived in Lima, Ohio, pastoring there, we drive down almost every Saturday afternoon to Dayton to go to the movies, to go out to eat, to go shopping, to spend a little time away from Lima. And every time we went by this particular building on I-75, we would say, that should be a full gospel church. That should be a charismatic church. And we'd keep on driving. We did that every week. But we had an image in our mind of this church building being a full gospel church, charismatic church. Well, 10 and a half years later, we went to Dayton, Ohio, came to Dayton, Ohio to start our church, had a little landlocked church in the Platte, and that didn't work out too well. And then that building, the one that we had said should be a full gospel charismatic church, came up for sale. I knocked on the door of the building and I said, I'm interested in buying your building. And they looked at me and they said, oh, it's under contract. There's a church that's going to buy it, and so it's not for sale now. By the way, how much would you be offering for it? And I threw out a number, and they laughed, and they said, no, we've got $250,000 more than that already. And so I thanked them, went on my way. But in my mind, I could see that building being our building. 6 months went by, and the for sale sign was still up on the building, and I felt led to go knock on the door again. I knocked on the door again. The associate pastor answered the door. He looked at me, and he said, are you here to buy the building? I said, yep. He said, well, we met 3 weeks ago and said that we were going to leave the building whether we sold it or not, and that if you came back, we were to do everything that we could possibly do to give you this building if you're going to offer the same amount of money. I said, same amount of money works for me. And within a month's time, we were in the building, having renovated and remodeled it, and we have had that building and are in that building to this very day. It all came from imagination. If you have a powerful, God-touched imagination, you can accomplish powerful things in your life. And that's what I want you to do. I want you to accomplish powerful things in your life. I'll share some more about this on Wednesday and Friday. Next Sunday, a brand new series of messages, Resurrection Life, Here Now. and for you. We're going to discover the power of resurrection living in the month of March, and it will resurrect your life out of this winter that we've gone through, out of this season that we've gone through, into what God has for your next season of life. Join me Sunday morning. AspireChurch.tv is a live stream. Aspire Church TV Facebook. That's Aspire Church TV Facebook. AspireChurch.tv live stream. 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be powerful. I'm Dr. Leon Stutzman, aka Doc. I'll see you then.